Think about the amount of time that you guys are saving people as such a time sink. That's one of the reasons I think it's such a great idea. Hey, thanks for coming.
Yep.
Good to see you guys.
Yeah.
Happy to be here.
We got the co-founders of Dobby.
Yeah.
So Dobby is really interesting. I don't know if the audience knows about them, but one thing I love about any product and service is when you see kind of like ambassadors, evangelists that are talking about how much they love the product. So Jeff Schrecky, Trent & Co., a few other agents are like, oh, I love this product. I'm giving it to my clients as a gift at the closing table. And so I was like, yeah, what is this company? And so a couple weeks ago, I went in and watched the software, and I thought it was so cool how, you know, when an agent's giving a gift, you know, to these people to use your guys' services so they can find, I'll let you explain it, whether it's an HVAC or whether it's electricians or plumbers, not only are you able to find someone like, you know, Thumbtack and these other places, but like the agent can watch the whole conversation between you and them, see how the process is going, where are you at in the process, is it going well, what reviews they get. I thought it was really cool. How did you guys meet? How did you guys come up with the idea? How long have you been working on it?
Yeah,
Give me some background.
Yeah, sure. Let's start in the very beginning. So the founding insights of Dobby, founding idea of Dobby came from insurance industry. So I was in New York working with AIG in the commercial insurance company. And one thing that commercial insurance company does, they not only sell the policy, but they also support the policy holders to protect them against any sort of losses, right? So if they are, for example, insuring a grocery store, they will be working with you to make sure people are not falling. There is no slip and fall. The design is accordingly, kind of, etc. But we do not have that in consumer insurance. When it comes to property insurance, like when it comes to our home insurance, no one tells us what to do. So the original idea of Dobby coming from insurance industry was really building that insurance company that will partner with a home services company and will be providing not only insurance to people, but also loss preventative service. So that was 2014. Fast forward, I worked with a startup between the AIG experience and Dobby with Data Robot. But when we started, I realized that there is not a single home services company that is really good. This industry has negative 24 NPS, and that's lower than Spirit Airlines. That is lower than any airlines, right? And that's just bad. People are not happy. Service providers are not happy. So that is the beginning of Dobby.
NPS, Net Promoter Score, for those of you.
Net Promoter Score.
I actually learned this at a previous company. It's very important. Actually, we should see what the NPS is of the title industry and see where we fit.
Yeah.
But so negative 24.
Negative 24.
Well, for those people that don't know about NPS, explain what that means.
Right. So negative Net Promoter Score is an idea that you use a product, and if you love the product, you would tell your friends and families about that product.
Is that a 10 if you love it?
It is
the highest, or
the highest is plus 100, and the worst could be negative 100. So it's a score that goes to all the way to negative 100 and all the way to plus 80, plus 100, and ours is plus 80. So that's actually better than Apple. So this is why that is so high, because that is the single biggest metrics that we are looking into. And as you said, we're a product-led company. We kind of build the product because that is the easiest way to win customers' heart and service providers' heart as well. So that's what we are doing. So founding story goes back there. Build. When we entered this industry, we saw there is a reliability problem. There is you can find a handyman, but there is no guarantee that that job will be done well. What Dobby is doing every single time, we are delivering 5-star quality. And we'll discuss more that how we do it. And as a matter of fact, we save a whole lot of time for homeowners and service providers, but we'll get there.
And how did y'all meet?
I cold outreach Alex. My background is a data scientist background. I worked in the Fortune 100 company, AIG, Liberty Mutual, Deloitte, and all that. And then at Data Robot, another AI startup. So I'm coming from robotic process automation background. And throughout in the before starting Dobby, I spent a good amount of time working from WeWork, the co-working space. Loved it and loved all the operators there because how customer focused they were and creating that delightful experience. So I kind of knew when I want to start a company, I want to work with someone who's coming from WeWork leadership. And here we go. So I reached out to Alex. She just completed her 5th year at WeWork New York. And I reached out to her. I did not know her. And we did not have a single common friends on LinkedIn. And we have pretty good network and everything. But I wrote to her and she responded.
Tell me about that.
I know.
What do you say?
Well, I had actually just left WeWork and I had just moved out of New York. I had just bought my first home, so the timing was pretty serendipitous. I think I'd put up the open to work for just a couple of days at that point, and a lot of the messages I had ignored, and I wasn't really looking at them too seriously. But then I got Satadru's message, and I think the name Dobby also really spoke to me. Of okay, like let me see what they're doing. But I think the most relevant piece was I had just purchased my home, come from WeWork, where I really understood what WeWork had done in terms of transforming where we work, right? Like office space in New York was not a fun, sexy, exciting thing until it was, right? And really focusing on community and focusing on engagement and that experience. So when I kind of came to expect that level of experience in everything I was doing, so from, when I'm ordering food to when I'm grabbing a car, like there was just certain things I think that this our generation of homeowners or users are just kind of expecting. So when I moved into my first home, was very excited. It was still a great experience. But did my first contractor project replacing part of my deck, everything went wrong. I was complaining to a friend about it, and they were just kind of like, "Oh, that's
the industry.
That's just it." And it was just kind of this accepted idea that we were all okay, that it was not a great experience. And then Satadru reached out and was like, transforming the way you take care of your home, and it's called Dobby. I'd love to talk to you about it. And I said, okay, and here we are.
It's hilarious because someone was asking me, what do you think is the next industry where someone should do something? And I was like, well, what do you think? What's the one thing that pops to your mind where you just get horrible service there and you accept it? It's general contracting. Right? It's that industry, and it's the only industry that gets away with it.
Right.
Because it's so hard. You gotta, all right, let's say you want to update your deck. All right, what am I going to do? I got to research and find 3 people to come over. I'm going to stay home from work. I'm going to meet them. They're not going to show up. There's so much time put into. Then I'm going to get quotes. Then once I get the quotes, then I'm going to call the referrals after that. So think about the amount of time that you guys are saving people because you guys are vetting them. If they don't have a certain review level, I don't know if they stay on the platform, but you're going to see the reviews.
Absolutely.
All that stuff is such a time suck. That's one of the reasons I think it's such a great idea.
And you're also on guard the whole time. I remember when he first came over, I was very what should I be looking for? Should I be telling him I'm talking to other people? Should I not? Yeah. Is he right now telling me I need to replace something I don't? And it was just there was just so much tension or friction in the experience where as you meet someone from Dobby, you already have that understanding and trust is there for both people. So you get to welcome each other, talk to them, and skip all of the friction, really.
Makes a lot of sense. All right, so you mentioned the name. For the Harry Potter fans out there, they might not know who Dobby is. Maybe they do. Good. Who is Dobby?
Dobby is the most loyal friend of Harry Potter. Yeah. And it's like we grew up with the Harry Potter series and books and movies, and it just connects so well with everyone because anytime we talk about Dobby, it brings smiles in people's face. Service providers, homeowners, investors, you name it. But the whole connection is that it's the most loyal friend of Harry Potter, and we as a company we follow that. With service providers, with homeowners, we are there as a trusted friend, and that's kind of the core values that we have with our users.
Did you determine that name quickly? Was there a long process? How did you get there?
We started as an insurance company and then pivoted to a home services company, right? So it was originally Hello's Insurance from Beyonce's music, song Hello's. And hello, but when we switched to home services company, then Dobby somehow naturally came to my mind. And the idea was that you usually like this name that is memorable. Everyone can talk about it, say it, they can repeat it, and just it checked all the box. And it's just a beautiful character.
So the agents I know love working with you guys.
Right.
One thing I always think about is what's a great gift at the table? And then what do these people really like some of these gifts? Do they care about the champagne, or do they want something they can actually utilize, right? And so any house you go into, even if it's been remodeled, if it's new construction, there's always stuff to do. So I love the idea of these agents giving, buyers this gift at the closing table. But they can do it all throughout the app, isn't that right? And then you also have incentives, I think, for real estate agents. Can you kind of talk about all the values you guys provide to the agents?
So we actually built an app specifically for agents because we saw this is what was happening. It was a super organic evolution of we were working with real estate agents to be a closing gift, and then we realized just how valuable we could be to agents in that process beyond the closing gift, right? So being able to give something super relevant, again, there are a lot of fun, sweet things you can offer at the closing table, but being able to say, hey, let's get a handyman out there to fix those couple of things that we saw at the final walkthrough is really meaningful and functional. That's what I'm going to remember my agent did for me. So we built the Dobby Sphere app for agents to be able to actually track their homeowners and know who they've been able to give gifts to, but also see their homeownership journey. Okay, this is the projects they're doing, this is how many things they're doing, and just make it as easy as possible for them to have a CRM at their fingertips. And what we've seen from agents is Dobby is so useful, beautiful gift for closing, but it's also a really incredible way to work with sellers as they're preparing their home. It's also a wonderful way to keep in touch with someone who bought their home 3 years ago.
Sure.
And so I think being able to be so relevant and valuable throughout the home ownership life cycle has helped agents use Dobby at multiple points with their homeowners, not just at the closing table.
Well, I mean, that's one thing I think is really cool is like, oh, it's been a year since I've talked to you. Hey, I just threw in $100 into your Dobby account, and now you can utilize it for. I mean, what a great way to stay in touch with people, right?
It's very meaningful. It is very contextual,
Yeah.
And people love it. And we have seen that the first year is the highest. People spend the most amount of money in their home because they are redoing drywall and painting and the flooring, and they are building their dream kitchen, dream bathrooms, and all that. So yeah, so it is really, really connecting.
It is amazing how much you can spend when you move into a house. The furniture. So I moved here in 2016 from San Diego. It was great out there. Loved it. Got a new house it was a house that was completely remodeled, redone.
Yeah.
The amount of times I went to Home Depot, the amount of money I spent in that first month is just remarkable. I mean, I was looking at some of these credit card bills and it's like, I have a problem. I have to go get a job soon. I mean, so I didn't have a job at the time. So then I started a title company. But, I mean, it's just nuts how much money you're spending, how much time it's taking. One thing I was impressed with was seeing kind of how that works. Like for people that want to see how the app works, can they go to the website? Is there a tutorial to view how the functionality and how you're communicating as an agent with everyone? Is there a video for that?
It's super simple. People are doing that every day, and you go to our website, there is no other us than a QR code, bright, and if you go from the mobile phone, then it is a one click. It will detect which operating system you have, Android or iOS, and it will take you to the App Store or Play Store, and you can download the app. And it's super easy. There is absolutely easy to follow tutorial. Even before you put your phone number, it will tell you in the these are the few things we do, guaranteed quality and the pre-vetted top 1% providers, and you can check the price anytime about any service, and all these are free and pay as you go when you complete the job, and you pay to the service providers, and then Dobby makes money and all that. So you learn about Dobby, and it is super easy, and then you just put your phone number and you get a code and you just enter the app. Cool. And you just take it from there.
Tell me about the people in the app that are doing the work. How do you vet them? What does that process look like? Is there a certain point where they're not allowed on the app? Give me the whole concept there and how you get there.
Our service providers are the lifeblood of Dobby. It's a really, really important community for us. And we really focus on local, independent, small businesses in the community. That's really who our service providers are, who we want to really make sure are working with our homeowners and giving them that platform to be able to do more great work in the community. So how we find them is we do all the homework for you. So we read the reviews, we speak to references, we look at before and after photos, we verify licensing, we go through all of the steps to make sure this is a great person you'd want to be working with. And what we found is we have providers from every category, from every community that are using and loving Dobby. And so it's people who maybe have been in the business for a couple of years and they're looking to really take off and build out their own thing. We have people who've been doing it for 20, 30 years and are just excited to be working with a platform that makes it super easy for them. You did ask about, someone maybe getting removed from the platform. We are very diligent about who is on our platform. If there is an issue, understanding what happened, and that is the only way that people are really leaving Dobby right now, is us saying that we aren't the right fit because of our incredibly high standards. But that also guarantees everyone that you meet is just a pleasure to work with and someone that we're really excited to help build their business.
And one key distinction about how providers work on Dobby is that we are a very high utilization platform. That means in most of the INGs and Thumbtack, people are working 10% of their time on those platforms. But Dobby, our providers are working near 100% on the platform.
Okay.
And that is actually very meaningful because they get used to the workflow that we have. The communication standard, quality standard, they understand Dobby really, really well. So that is a big distinction, and we'll be investing more and more that. So instead of getting 200 plumbers and all of them are working only 10% of their time on Dobby, we are actually going after 10 plumbers and they're working or 20 plumbers working at 100% capacity.
Yeah.
That's kind of how we do it.
Cool. And you guys are in 2 markets currently. So we're in the DMV area and in San Francisco. You'll be expanding across the country soon after that. Actually, which one started first, DMV or San Francisco?
DMV.
Okay, cool. And how many reviews do you guys have? On the platform?
So we completed more than 7,000 jobs, and reviews have been mandatory lately. So since we made review mandatory, we got 5,000 plus reviews. And one very fun way we kind of talk about our reviews, to get our first 100 negative reviews, we had to get more than 4,000 positive reviews. Okay. So it's like that disproportionate. And every time we may lose a job, we may do a bad job on a given home services work, we'll fix it. And we fix it so well that we never lose a homeowner. Yeah. So we have such a good example, our favorite homeowners, Heidi, she gave one of our pros a negative reviews in December 23, but she completed more than 8-9 jobs since then because we fixed that. That's a very key part of that quality guarantee.
I mean, you gotta, in business, it's all, you're gonna have mistakes.
Yeah.
We tell our people all the time, I'd love to tell you there's not going to be anything wrong. Unfortunately, that's not going to happen. There will be mistakes. It's how you fix them.
Exactly.
And that's the key to business. That's it. And people will give you a chance as long as you're there and you're committed to it. So I'm glad you brought that up. You're not trying to say you're perfect, but you guys, I think in a sense, have almost a perfect system of making it right.
It is normal that things will go wrong time to time, as you said. But what our providers do really well is that we have such a strong relationship with our service providers. They are the ones that they're going there and fixing the problem. So it is just working really well between homeowners, providers, and Dobby.
So how does pricing work for the consumer, also for the people doing the work?
Yeah, so everything is happening on the app. So you submit the job, and either you are recording a video message for us and click a button that comes to us. We assign the right pro, and the pro is going there. Service providers is giving you the quotation, and we have an AI tool that validates that price also, so you know that you are paying the fair price. And then homeowners and service providers are working together. We can see all of those things. We can monitor it, that everything goes right. Then when the job is done and homeowners are giving a thumbs up, writing the review, only then they pay. And when they pay, service providers get paid, and we take a portion of that payment for us. And that portion depends on the size of the job and the type of the job and the geography. And so that is the model we're using.
For the consumers out there that are utilizing the service, they're really not paying more than they would pay because you're getting wholesale pricing
you are exactly
your
right.
vendors. Right?
Absolutely. That is what is happening. We're getting wholesale price. And we did more than $5 million in booking value. And that means we created that amount of job for the local small business service providers, right? Sure. Many of these people are independent. We did not take a single dollar from them, right? We did not make any money. So the cost of doing business for them is the lowest in Dobby among any other home services platform they can use. Think of this, that they are not saving any money on marketing. They are not bringing these homeowners. Sure. We are doing that for them. By doing that, we are lowering their business cost significantly.
Yeah, absolutely.
Then there is AI and automation that is helping, reducing the overall cost of doing business. So all this value is going back to the user.
I mean, look, I have friends in the home services business, and the amount of money they're paying for Google, pay-per-click, for leads, for all that stuff. I mean, just massive amounts of money you're outputting.
Back office, right? Yeah. Back office is a big one that we take care of for our service providers. That customer, talking to homeowners, we are doing it. Running the invoice, we are doing it. Payment processing, we are doing it. So their cost of doing business is, by lowering the cost of doing business, we are basically lowering the, the cost for everyone. This industry spend $25 billion in marketing, and providers pay for that. And that is what we are disrupting really well with Dobby.
Sure. So, there's other apps out there. Yeah. So whether it's TaskRabbit or someone else, which I can't think of, how are you guys different than them?
We call ourselves a do it for me app. That's really what it comes down to. We do it for you. So if you use Thumbtack, if you use Angie, if you're looking someone up yourself, just like you were mentioning earlier, you still have to do all of the work. You still need to read the reviews, decide who to work with, schedule them, figure out when they're available. Someone's going to call, someone's going to show up at your door, someone's not going to show up. So all of that homework still lies with you. And then throughout the process, you don't have someone that you can check in with. Does this pricing seem okay?
That's a really good point. Just that pricing. It's like, I have no freaking idea what a capacitor and an HVAC unit costs, you know, or what that looks like. And how do I have any clue? I mean, if someone quoted me 2,000 or 200, I would have no idea.
With Dobby, we are doing it for you, and we're here throughout the entire journey to make sure if you have questions, if something, you want to add something, you want to take something away, you want to change it, really just having that third person in the chat. We actually have a 3-way chat, gives peace of mind to both homeowner and provider as well, because the provider wants to make sure that, hey, I'm just confirming this is the scope that we're working through. If something changes, we have that. It just creates this really seamless experience, again, for both homeowners and providers. And the reason why we talk about that so much is because when it's a happy community, everyone does better.
Sure.
And so that's how we're different than, and if you go to FilmTech, you could see some unhappy community. Just check out their reviews. It's a little... It's a little crazy.
You can just right now, you can just pause this podcast and go to App Store and read our reviews and read Thumbtack reviews, read Just Rabbit, and the most recent reviews will tell you, oh my God, this is totally different. And as Alex highlighted, that by being as a mediator between homeowners and service providers, we are really kind of eliminating the trust gap. Like this industry, when we entered, we saw a lot of trust gap. Homeowners do not trust service providers do not trust homeowners. What is a happy moment for us that as a platform, we are able to bridge that gap. And what Amazon taught us that when you build a great product, you have to make it easy for homeowners, users to make decisions. So informed purchase decision. So we really created our product and services in a way that, as you said, homeowners can easily understand, okay, this is a fair price. This is what should be the job and all that.
Do you guys do small and larger jobs? Are there certain parts of the home process you're not servicing, or is it everything?
The way we say it, that from carpet cleaning to kitchen upgrade, we do everything, right? And we saw that between HVAC, plumbing, and handyman and electrical, these 4 categories cover 70% of the job. But there are people who are doing garage door replacement or garage door fixing, to mold remediation and or wallpaper or this beautiful background that you have. we can get that done. So and all of these things are happening, and that's a big part of Dobby's value prop, that you just have this one app in your pocket and you can take care of everything that you possibly need for your home. The things that we don't do, ServPro is the company that kind of takes care of when there is a sudden flooding in the basement. We do not do those kind of jobs. You need a much deeper kind of expertise. In the future, we may get into those kind of things, but the way we have designed our backend architecture, backend platform, it will be very easy for us to add more products over time, adjacent product, including insurance, because we are building the trust with our homeowners, right? So that's kind of the idea.
Over the next year, what additional states will you guys be going to?
So our target is LA, Los Angeles is a big one, and then Boston, Miami, and Dallas. These are the states, right? These are the cities that we are targeting.
We have a lot of business in Texas. You going there anytime soon?
Yep.
Are you thinking about Texas eventually?
Yeah, Austin and Dallas are definitely on the list.
What do you think is the biggest breakthrough that you guys have had for the company today?
I would say there are 2 breakthroughs, right? The frontline breakthrough is that we are there. There is a talk to us button in the Dobby app, and homeowner service providers can reach out to us any point of time. And Alex and the team, our interops team is doing a phenomenal job and supported by our infrastructure. That is a complete missing thing in the home service industry, that homeowners are alone, service providers are alone. Anything goes wrong, they are on their own. On Dobby, no one is alone. We are there, and the facilitation of the communication is happening, so people are talking to each other and all the good stuff. So this ability to talk to us, that feature turned out to be one of the most used and most important feature, for us. The big breakthrough that is invisible is that we have created an enterprise-grade software called Gryffindor. This kind of class of softwares are known as vertical AI software. So you basically took the home services process and pieced that together and automated that, and that is what runs everything in Dobby. That's why we can run everything in a very highly scalable model, and that's like not so important for our homeowners and service providers. They definitely have a cost savings for that, but for like it's a venture backed business because of that. Like no other home services company ever built that. Like most of the time home services company are a bunch of people like running around and try to solve a problem, but we are not only we are essentially a customer success company run by a vertical AI software in the back end.
I love it. I mean, if you think about the other companies, it's like, here are some people, good luck, and yourself because you're screwed.
And we can afford that because we are supported by an engineering infrastructure in the back end. And that's very, very important because that is differentiating us. Like, you know this industry, so many companies tried to solve home services problem, but how we are completely differentiated is that we are not throwing people at the problem, or we are throwing engineering at the problem, and then building a business that is around, like, kind of designed around people.
All right, so we have a new section. We want to get to know you guys, find out what's going on with yourselves personally, as well as the company. What is your favorite Dobby feature?
For me, it is talk to us.
For me, I think it'd be featured pros. So whenever you work with a provider that you love, you can put a heart, there's a heart button, and you can just easily work with them again and again.
So it's kind of like saving your favorites.
That's
exactly.
right.
This is good because what I always do on my phone is I said, HVAC person that I liked a lot, but a little, and I'm like writing on, then I have to Google that and search it.
Yeah.
So HVAC, it's a disaster. What feature is least used but should be used more?
The heart feature, the one that I just used. It's my favorite, but it is the least used.
That really is a good point, the saving of these people, right?
Yeah.
And people reach out and they say, hey, I loved that last guy. Can I work with him again? I'm like, yes, actually, and you can do it this way.
Perfect.
And another least used feature is our job history, and this is important for real estate agents. And when people will be selling the home, like when I bought home, like I saw, oh my god, a handwritten seller's disclosure. What is that? Like so people are handwriting what happened in this home. Remember in Dobby that does not that is not like that. Everything has a digital stress, and we actually create a report for you at any given point of time. What are the things that you have done in the last 18 months, last 12 months, and so on.
I mean, look, you can, when you're doing your own research, you're going on Google, you're getting a little snippet. That's it.
Yeah.
But on this, you really, if you care about that, you can dive deeper into it.
Yeah.
What's a mistake you made early in your career that you'll never forget?
So for me, I spent a lot of time, my professional goal is to meet new people, solve new problem, and be in different kind of places. So I did a pretty good job being in working with Liberty at Boston, working in New York City with AIG, but I never spent any time in San Francisco in Silicon Valley. But 70% of our investors came from Silicon Valley. So we should have spent some time in Silicon Valley, maybe 2 years and so on.
I think for me, it was probably early days at WeWork. I saw a lot. I was, in the buildings, and I thought because I wasn't in, at the leadership level that I shouldn't kind of bubble up my ideas or the problems I was seeing. As I grew and became a leader at WeWork, I quickly realized that is exactly what I should have been doing. Those are the best people to hear from. So understanding that your voice is so important regardless of what your position is.
You're in the trenches, you're seeing things that they're not seeing, speak
Absolutely.
up, which is also what your platform does. It allows you to speak up and say what's going on, good or bad, so it's all very transparent. Right?
That's right.
Biggest business accomplishment this year?
Alex?
I think it would be, we really progressed into tackling a lot of larger projects, so renovation projects. We've been doing bathroom remodels for a while, but this year we really tackled a couple of really big projects, so $150,000, $300,000 addition. So I think really breaking into those much larger projects and being able to bring everything that people love about Dobby on those projects. So again, the transparency, the communication, the accountability, that on a larger project is pretty game changing.
The extension was something we introduced, something called planning mode. And planning mode is that when we figured out, okay, we are doing carpet cleaning, we're also doing a 300K jobs, so we can do everything in between. Now we are sitting with the busy homeowners and booking some time and asking them just even vaguely, tell us what is your dream for the next 6 to 12 months. Yeah. And we're writing it down, and we have created capabilities in the product that people can plan it ahead. We can price them, we can assign providers, and that is working like magic. We see that people, people who have been using the app for a while, they're using planning mode.
All right, what Harry Potter house would you sort each other into?
So Harry Potter has 4 houses, and each one kind of has a different characteristics.
Yeah.
I am very curious. Because because I think I know what my house is. It's a little bit cliche, but Satadru would definitely be Gryffindor. It's also the name of our operating system, so it kind of goes hand in hand.
Yep.
But yeah, Gryffindor.
I would agree with that, and I would put Alex also on Gryffindor.
Is that what you thought he was going to say?
No, I am Hufflepuff.
Oh.
Hufflepuff, yeah.
There
I
you
am
go.
very. I want to be Gryffindor though, so I take this as a compliment, and I would be very happy to be Ravenclaw. You don't know what any of this means.
Who would I be?
I think you're Gryffindor.
Okay.
Yeah, bravery is really what Gryffindor is known for.
Bravery and friendship. The whole concept of allied title is really building that community of everyone. So Gryffindor is big on that.
So there's people out there that are like, I have an HVAC issue. I have a plumbing issue. And they're like, I just don't even want to, I don't even know where to start. Take me through the whole user experience. I'm John Smith. I call you up. I have a plumbing issue. What do I do? Or I go onto the app. Take me through.
You would open up your phone and open up the Dobby app. So if it's an HVAC issue, then you're going to be able to hit the Start a Job button. And what's beautiful from here is you can either describe it in a couple of words what's happening, or actually take a video message. This is really great if there's a weird noise, or there's some moisture, or just something you don't really know how to describe, and share exactly what you're seeing.
Cool.
That is it.
That's it.
From there, our team will review it, understand who is the best person for this based on geography, scheduling, also expertise. Sometimes you're like, is this HVAC? Is this plumbing?
Yeah.
We take care of all of that for you, and then everything takes place in the app.
I want to schedule it. I choosing from dates that person is available?
Yes, the provider will share with you, hey, this is what I think next steps should look like. They might be able to actually provide a quotation based on your photo, your photo or your video. And then share dates for a visit to learn a little bit more. But they'll give you a couple of dates when they're available. You'll select which one works best for you. Or if none of those dates work, you suggest a couple more times until you guys are able to lock it in.
That's pretty easy.
Pretty easy.
Super easy.
Yeah, I believe you guys are in the raising money still, or in different parts of the investment process. You already have some great investors. Can you talk about, is there an opportunity to invest if people are interested? Who are your investors?
Yeah, absolutely. So we are a classic venture-backed company. So started with angel round and people from Data Robot, people from Uber, people from WeWork. People put their money, our friends and ex-colleagues, and then we started Techstars, one of the leading startup accelerator in the country. They were the first check, and then we raised so far $6 million in the seed stage, and we're in 70% of our investors came from Silicon Valley, from San Francisco Bay Area, and these are the people. 1984 is our largest investor. Dundee VC, they are from Midwest. They are one of the large investors. Mark Bailey, he is one of the originals of the VC firm, and these are the people who invested in Tesla, SolarCity, SpaceX, company. Yeah, so that's and we are open to new investment as as we progress in our milestones, and right now, anyone can reach out to us anytime. As soon as we open our next terms, we'll be raising money.
What's the best way for them to reach out to you?
They can reach out to either Alex or to me, Alex at dobbyhome.com or Satadru at dobbyhome.com.
Awesome.
And they can just go to the website dobbyhome.com or reach out to you also. Either way, whatever is easy for them, and we'll get connected. We're pretty active on LinkedIn. They can connect us on there also.
Cool. So I look forward to seeing what you guys do in the future.
Wonderful.
So thanks for coming.